Okay. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Vet Partners Town Hall Brief, where we have rich information that is presented in a very short amount of time, a 30-minute session. And before we get going on today's discussion, I've got a few things to share. First and foremost, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you. Thank you. We couldn't do so many things without you and your support. Thank you again. Now, for the listening experience. All lines will be muted, so we may focus on our presenter of the day, and then we'll stay on mute until the end of the discussion, where we'll open up for questions. And if you do have questions, please place them in the chat box, and Elizabeth will manage those questions. Whatever questions we don't have time for today, we'll make sure they are answered offline. So thank you very much for that. Now, a little bit about our presenter for the day. Michael Linardi. Michael is CEO and founder of Halcyon Coaching, is a business and executive coach, strategist, organizational consultant, and he has over 30 years of experience in management, facilitating, training, coaching, and behavior change. Quite a lot, Michael. And not only that, you're a longtime Vet Partners member. Michael's topic of the day: the one thing that we can control in this crisis, our minds. And Michael believes we are all in this moment for a reason. What we choose to do with this moment will determine our success. Welcome, Michael. The floor is all yours.
Welcome, everyone. I missed the last Vet Partners face-to-face meeting, so it's nice to reconnect with my Vet Partners colleagues. I have a lot of hopefully good content to share with you today, so I'm going to be referring to my notes so I don't leave anything out. I wanted to start with this. Back in early March, when all of this erupted in our world and here in the US with the virus, I remember watching the news, and there was a commentator that I watched quite a bit. She's very strong, very calm woman. She was being interviewed about COVID-19 and the economy, and she said, "Here we are. This is not a place that any of us could have imagined being, but here we are. This is our current reality." And I really believe that the key to our success through this crisis is not only what we're doing, but how we're doing what we're doing. I really believe, as Deb said, that we are exactly where we're supposed to be at any given moment in our lives. And it may not feel perfect, but it is the perfect moment for us. And when these moments come up, we can push through it and we can try and survive it, or we can survive it and see it as a great opportunity to thrive. Now, we are in a huge moment right now. It's probably the biggest thing any of us have ever had to deal with in veterinary medicine. All of us are being affected by this personally and professionally, some much more so than others, and that's our reality. And I really think veterinary medicine is probably not going to look the same when this is all done, and I think that's a good thing. Because I really believe that we are going to learn from this crisis, and we're going to come out better for it on the other side. So today I wanted to talk about our minds, this powerful instrument that we have. And depending on how we use it, it can work for us or it can work against us. I want to focus on three things with you today. The first is to help you get clear on what a mindset is and why it matters. I'd like to help you identify your current mindset and those of your team, your clients, and your colleagues. And I want to give you some tools to help you pivot your mind to a powerful, resilient place. But before we start, I just wanted to mention briefly that the reason I coach in veterinary medicine is my husband is a vet. He's been a practicing small animal vet for 30 plus years. And back in 2006, I believe, we had the opportunity to buy half of his practice. and we were able to build a very good team and a business over the last 14 years. And we're sort of navigating through this crisis just like all of you. We're trying to figure it out day to day. And so we know what you all are going through. We're in it. We're in the same boat with you guys. Let's jump into the content. So mindset. What is a mindset, and why does it matter? The challenge that we're all facing right now is we're in this place of the unknown, uncertainty. We don't know how long it's going to take to contain this virus. We don't know how long it will take to get back to full operations in our businesses. We don't know how long it will take for our economy to recover and for our revenue to get back to where it was. And this unknown creates a lot of anxiety and fear and stress and angst. And those feelings are real, and many of us, myself included, sometimes we try and suppress those feelings. Dr. Kim Pope Robinson, who many of you know, she's a Vet Partners member. Kim and I have done some work together, and Kim has taught me that we need to embrace these feelings. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be afraid. So we can acknowledge those feelings and sit with them, but it's critical that we put a short time limit on them because we have to move quickly. We have a lot of work that we have to do to get through this crisis. So Dean, my husband, and I, back in early March, had all of these feelings. We had angst, we had anger, we had frustration, we had confusion. We were yelling at each other, which is very uncharacteristic of either of us. We were worried about our businesses and about our expenses, and our income just abruptly changed overnight from the veterinary practice. So we had to sit with those feelings over the weekend, and then we said, okay, we need to get through this. We need to shift our minds to a better place, and that's what we did. So this crisis has forced us all to pivot in our minds, and I've been using that word quite a bit with my clients lately. A pivot is a quick shift in how we think and how we do things. So what we all realized is the one thing that we can control in all of this COVID-19, this huge crisis, the one thing we get to control is our minds. No one can take this away from us. We get to decide how we think, how we feel, how we respond, how we show up, how we react or not. And your mindset also determines whether you believe certain traits like intelligence or talent are fixed or can be changed. What I've learned in my life is that so much of our mindset stems from our belief. I was raised in the 50s and 60s in Baltimore, and I'm the product of a strong Italian, Irish, Catholic, middle-class family. And there is a lot going on in that sentence, but we don't have time to talk about that. I went to Catholic school. My parents went to Catholic school, my siblings. I was taught by nuns. And I was a kid who really loved school. I loved to learn. I couldn't wait to go back each year to start learning again. And one year we came back and there was a new nun. And she took an instant dislike to several of the kids in the class. And I was one of those unlucky kids. So she told me one day, she said, "Michael, you are dumb and you're never going to amount to anything in your life." So I remember I was probably 12 or 13 at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, isn't that interesting that she thinks I'm dumb? Because I love to learn. I love school. I can't wait to come back to school. So I'm not dumb. But I thought it was interesting that she thought I was dumb. So she tried to give me a disempowering belief, and I chose not to take it, not to accept it. She tried to change my mindset about myself. And some of us may be walking around with disempowering beliefs that other people have given us, and we chose to accept them. So we need to identify them and change them to more empowering beliefs that serve us well. And I'll talk a bit more about beliefs in a few minutes. Carol Dweck, who is a Stanford psychologist, she's written quite a few books on mindset. She also has some wonderful TED Talks that I would encourage you all to watch. She describes two kinds of mindsets. There's the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. The person with a fixed mindset believes that certain qualities and traits we have are inborn, fixed, and unchangeable. The person with a growth mindset believes that these abilities can be developed and strengthened by effort and commitment and work. A fixed mindset person works very hard to prove how smart or talented they are. They require a lot of validation. They see failure as a setback, and they're very resistant to change. The growth mindset loves to learn, loves the challenge, sees failure as a learning opportunity. They like to stretch out of their comfort zones. I had a great coach many, many years ago who mentored me, and she's an incredibly successful multi-million-dollar coach. She said something to me that really helped me shift my mindset back then. She said, "Michael, I'm uncomfortable every single day in my business. It may be for 5 minutes, it may be for 2 hours. But if I'm not uncomfortable, it means I'm not growing, I'm not stretching myself. So I like being uncomfortable. So I want you to embrace those uncomfortable feelings. They're good for you." Now, how do we identify our current mindset and those of our team and our colleagues and our clients? I like to use the boat analogy when I'm working with clients. So in a typical veterinary practice, hopefully they have co-created a vision for the practice, where they want to go and who they want to be. And hopefully there's a strategic plan to help them move toward that vision. So when you're in the boat, that vision is on the horizon, and everyone on the team is in the boat, and everyone is picking up an oar and rowing in unison to get to that vision. So it's important that everyone be engaged and everyone work together. Now, this COVID-19 crisis has taken our boat way, way off course. We're in the middle of a huge storm that we're trying to navigate. And we're trying to work together to get back to the straight and narrow. So we are really needing to pivot all day long. A decision we made this morning may have to change that afternoon based on regulations or based on some announcements. So it's pivoting all day long. And through this challenge, which I think is probably the biggest challenge that a lot of vet practices have had to face, you can clearly see who's in the boat and who's operating from a fixed mindset and who is in a growth mindset. Because all of these emotions are very, very heightened right now. And the best and the worst are coming out in our teams. It's almost as if they have this label on their head that says fixed or growth. So the fixed mindset team members are using disempowering questions if you listen to them. They're saying things like, "Why do we have to do curbside pickup? It's too hard. It's not going to work. Why do I have to wear a face mask? I don't like it. It's hard." Many practices have split into two teams. So the fixed mindset team member is saying, "Why does my team work harder than the other team? Why do we have to work so hard?" So they're pointing fingers, they're playing the blame game, they're being victims. The growth mindset people are, "Wow, this curbside pickup is really cool. It's very innovative. I think I really like this. We should keep this when we go forward." Or, "I didn't think I'd like telemedicine, but I really like it. It's a really interesting way to take care of my clients and these animals that we take care of." So the energy between these two, growth and fixed, are very, very different. The fixed mindset has a lot of negative energy. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of woe is me. You can just feel it with them. The growth mindset person is up and engaged and interested to try new things. So when we all walk into any space, we bring a certain energy into that space. So think of a meeting that you've been in the past where it's been such a great meeting. People are engaged and productive and work is getting done and everyone's having a good time by doing the work. And then someone comes in and all of a sudden that energy just drops. And what happened is that person brought their energy, their negative energy into the space. So you can almost feel and see the tension in the air. That's the energy they brought in. So when you're ready to walk into your business, now more than ever with this crisis, I want you to take a few minutes and really check your energy, whether it's walking into a physical building or jumping on a Zoom call. Really check yourself with the energy that you're bringing to that call or bringing to that space. And what energy do you want to bring in to that space? All right, let's talk about some tools to help you pivot your mind to a powerful, resilient place. I always like to practice gratitude in the morning. I call it my slow entry to the day. So we live in this beautiful home. We've had an opportunity to purchase this 3 years ago. And it's on the water. It's on a very peaceful cove. And the water is very calming to me. So I get up very early. I'm an early guy. I get up about 5:30 and I make my cup of tea and I walk out to the dock and I sit down and I watch the sunrise and I listen to nature. And as I'm doing that, I'm thinking about all the things that I'm grateful for. So I'm grateful for our health in this crisis. I'm grateful for our team at VMC. I'm grateful for this beautiful home that we have and our animals, and that we both do really interesting, powerful, positive work that gives us great joy and passion. So I go through this long list of what I'm grateful for, and then I set an intention for the day. So my intention today was to hopefully give you some great content for your time today that you can use to really shift your mindset to a powerful place. I also do some mind work after that. I really go through a series of questions that I ask myself about my mindset to make sure I'm on the right foot. So when I do all of this every morning, what it does is it helps me create my day as opposed to my day being created for me. And that makes me feel very in control and very powerful. So I'd encourage you to try that. The second thing I want you to do is to start asking powerful questions. We talked a bit about this a few minutes ago. Many of us are asking ourselves disempowering questions right now. Why is this happening to me? Why didn't I plan for this disaster? How will I ever recover from this? So if we shift those to more empowering questions, they sound like this. How do I have to be different to help my team and my clients in this crisis? How do I have to be different? What would give me and my team more clarity during this challenging time? What am I learning about myself and my team? And how will I know that I'm moving forward? I always talk about evidence of change. So look for how you're taking small steps towards your goals and really put those small steps together to create a larger shift, a larger change. When you ask a more empowering question, your whole outlook changes. You go from doom and gloom to, I got this, we can do this, we can make this happen. So I'll jump back to beliefs for a minute. I really think our beliefs play a huge huge role in our mindset and can have an impact on our success or our failure in every aspect of our lives. I talked earlier about the disempowering belief that none tried to give to me. So many of us may have similar beliefs from our parents, from our peers, our teachers, that aren't serving us well in our lives and our work. So what I'd like you to do is, over the next few days, just take some time to quiet your mind and really give some thought to, is there a disempowering belief that I chose to accept? How many years ago it was. I chose to accept that for whatever reason. And then I want you to shift to a more empowering belief. And then watch how that, look for evidence and watch how that new belief is serving you and working for you. And I just want you to know that we all vacillate between fixed and growth mindset. I am not perfect. I am not always in a growth mindset. And I have been studying and learning this stuff for 60 years or so. This mindset stuff takes effort. It takes daily energy to put into it. So I was reading something recently about mediocrity and excellence. There are a lot of folks that walk around in their lives, in their work. They show up in mediocrity. And they say things like, my work's okay, it's not great. I'm okay, but not really great. So when you shift to a place of excellence, you show up to aim high, and you show up to work, and you show up to put in effort to improve your personal and professional life. So it takes daily commitment and daily thought to make this happen. So don't be upset if you're vacillating back and forth. I still do it. I still fall into that fixed category sometimes, but I pull myself right back out. So I want to be conscious of your time today, so I'd like to finish with this, and then we'll take a few questions. I have a Buddhist quote, a daily Buddhist book that I use. I really think I should have been a Buddhist. I'm a very calm guy, probably a better Buddhist than a Catholic. So I read this quote every day, a different quote. And kind of interesting, when this all erupted back in early to mid-March, I opened the book, and this is the quote that they had. When you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what's happening. That's where your power is. I'll read that once more. When you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what's happening. That's where your power is. And when I read that, I was reminded of Stephen Covey's work. Stephen talks about the stimulus response. So for every piece of stimuli that we get hit with every day, and these days we're getting hit with much stimuli, there's a space, and then there's your response. So what many of us will do is we'll get very reactive to those stimuli. We'll get angry, we'll get upset, we'll get frustrated, we'll allow it to ruin our day and our week. But what you want to do is respond in a proactive way. So I want you to say to yourself, okay, this is happening. How do I want to respond to this in a way that's healthy and happy for me and my team and my business and my life? That's the proactive way to fill in that space. So I know we may not have time for questions, but please feel free to reach out. I love this topic, and I'm happy to discuss it in more detail. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. Elizabeth, I'm going to let you roll with the questions here. Let's open it up to everybody. Unmute folks. They can ask questions. If there's any in the chat box.
Yeah, I don't have any in the chat box. So if anyone has a question, you can unmute yourself in the lower left-hand corner. I guess it depends on what device you're on, but please feel free to make a comment.
Denise does have one while everybody unmutes. Denise did ask for Michael to please repeat the quote one more time.
Sure. When you can't change, when you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what's happening. That's where your power is.
Thank you, Michael. Denise, got it?
Sure.
That's wonderful. Thanks again. Do we have any questions from our friends? Mary. Mary's on mute?
Got it?
Okay.
Am I on mute?
Yes. You're off now. You're good.
Okay, cool. Michael, I have a question. I usually start out the day really positive, and then I interact with colleagues who are home with, whether I'm fortunate or unfortunate, I don't have the stress of homeschooling children and all of that.
Sure.
So so I start out well, and then I take in all of this anxiety from other people and trying to help them manage what their day is like, because I have people that report to me. Any pointers on how to try and point them in the right direction without lecturing them, without, trying to say I'm better than you, but maybe like a suggestion on how to point towards trying something?
Sure. I'll get to your first point first. If your day starts off positive and it starts to head downhill, as most of us have that happen, I always say you can start your day over as many times as you want. So just take a break, go out for 30 seconds, get your mind recalibrated, say I got this, and go back in and start over. And if you have to do that 20 times, do it 20 times, because this could be our last day. We have no idea. We don't want to survive the day. We want to make it work for us. So you have that power to continue to control your day. And in terms of helping people, I just listen. I try not to teach or lecture. I'm just there for them. But I do try to change their question to a more positive question, empowering question. So if they say to me, I just don't know how to do this, I might say something like, well, if you did know, what would that be?
Okay.
And it's interesting because they give me an answer.
I'm going to try it.
So the answer's there. The answer's there. They have to just go in and find it. They have to quiet their minds to be able to. And I can't imagine what these people are going through, this homeschooling, and just, God, so much. There's a lot on people right now. But
thank you. That's a good.
Does that help?
Really good advice. Thank you. I'm going to try it.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. Any other questions from our Vet Partners members?
I'm sorry I had to rush through things. I felt like it was a very rushed, but we had some technical difficulties. So I apologize.
Michael, this won't be the last time that we hear or see from you. We intend to carry on these town hall briefs beyond the COVID times, because we believe these are very beneficial. We've got so many comments that said thanks to you. Some folks may have had to jump off, but we have many positive comments about this information, Michael. It's so powerful. So thank you so much for sharing this. And if anybody has any further questions about Michael's discussion, please forward your email to admin@vetpartners.org. That's admin@vetpartners.org. These recordings, all the town hall brief recordings, will be on our website. This one will actually be on the website next week, so look forward to that. Also, any kind of questions that come our way will also be in that space as well, so that we can actually learn even more as far as what questions folks may have, maybe we didn't even think of. So I look forward to that soon. In the meantime, stay tuned for future Vet Partner Town Hall briefs, and many are coming your way. And we look forward to hearing from you all that are on this call as well. So thank you for all that you do for our profession. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and stay safe, my friends. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Bye-bye.
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 Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.